it's really kind of flawed how they doing, bro. It's like that. Like it's really got to a point now, man. When I do have kids, bro, I don't want them to play running back. Man, go play wide receiver. Go play receiver.
No, come on now. Now that's a little bit heinous. I wouldn't say that.
Bro,
First I'm not my dad might hate me for this, but first I'm gonna put them in soccer first at the end of the day. If they want to play American football, I'll let them. But I'm gonna introduce them to soccer first. Just being
yeah,
honest, it's more opportunity and possibly even more money in the back end, especially with the way the MLS is growing with Messi over here now and stuff. Can't wait to see how that goes. MLS is about to take over in a different level and soccer in general. So it's probably going to be more money to that. But if he does want to play American football, I'm going to let him play whatever position he wants because you going to still get money. Because let's not act like the running backs ain't making good more than like half of America. You know what I'm saying? Probably even more than half, probably 80% of Americans. They're still making good money.
making more than the rest
And
of America, but it turns to be because once you get to the NFL, you would think I'm a professional athlete. I just play a different position. So you look when you look at
okay, Rouse, look at it. If you're telling your kid don't play running back because if you go to the NFL, the odds of him even going to the NFL are slim. So it's like, why don't he enjoy the running back position as a young kid and a high school player before he even thinks of? Because if he wants to convert to a wide receiver in college, he can definitely do so and put in the work. You know what I'm saying? So let's not stunt the man from wanting to do that because of a very slim chance of him even getting into the NFL in general. Like, come on, man.
what I'm saying, I'm not saying that. Oh, I'm not just going to let him not play it. What I'm saying is, don't let that be an end goal of being a running back, especially at this point in time. Like, look at Le'Veon Bell. He was used more as a receiver as the running back in Pittsburgh, and what they were trying to do was pay him as a running back, not a receiver. That was his whole
What?
argument why he.
He was no. He was not used as a receiver more than a running back.
Yes, bro. Pittsburgh was throwing the ball 50 times a game, damn near. I'm gonna go up and look up the stats for the pod this weekend, but dead ass, bro. Big Ben was throwing that thing with him, AB, Juju. They was throwing it every time.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I will take your word for it. I don't know about that. I don't know, man. I don't need the stats. I still just don't feel like it's like
Like
relevant to even tell him not to play running back, though, man. It's like let him play what he wants. He's probably not gonna go to the league anyway. Just being honest. You know what I'm
true,
saying? Like you got to be reality. The league is a fantasy.
but
Like making it to the league is like a astronomical in a sense. The odds of it. So it's like let him play whatever position he wants because it's like at the end of the day, he still could create. He's still going to create generational wealth, regardless of if he gets a small contract compared to his other teammates. Who cares? You're still making generational wealth.
2 mil to 10 mil, that's a big difference, especially when you're getting that shit in the check every week. You know what I'm saying? That's all the argument when it turns to pay for that. But what I'm trying to get into is talking the road for the running back, because what they go through, literally most running backs take about 2-3 years going out of college. Some may stay all four and then go to the NFL if they are lucky, like you're saying, getting
Well,
to.
yeah, that's based off their performance in college. That's everybody's position, though. That's everyone's position in college. It doesn't matter who you are. You might have to do the 4 years. It just depends on how good you are. Because Bijan Robinson only did 2 years. And he's the highest paid player. I mean, highest paid running back as a rookie. You know what I'm saying? He only played 2 years. Jameer Gibbs, he only started 1 year for Alabama. Now he's going to be in Detroit. So it's like it just depends on you. You don't have to do the full four as a running back. Most running backs that are top, you know what I'm saying, get drafted early. So
Bro, the way that's getting pushed out, why would you draft a running back high? That's why
they
it
just
was
did. They
crazy.
just
I know
have.
it's crazy. Like, why would y'all do that? Like,
Yeah.
okay,
That's an old notion though. That's an old notion.
we're trying to. Nobody else is doing that shit. You know what I'm
That
saying?
that notion is getting debunked. That notion is getting debunked now though. Because even the notion of wide receivers going high is getting debunked because this past year a bunch of wide receivers got drafted. Oh no, not this year. The year before that, a bunch of wide receivers got drafted early. No, this year wide receivers didn't get drafted and then all went like 5 in a row or something like that. So it just depends. Every year is different. It's not even really like I think that's an old narrative because now the notion is who's the best player and we're going to draft him. You know what I'm saying? This year, it was these quarterbacks that were the best year, that were the best players this year. You know what I'm saying? Last year, a lot of skill players were better. There weren't a lot of quarterbacks that came out last year. So it was all about the skill players.
I'm gonna do
So,
that because Chicago, they talking about what's better. They said, well, talking about Chicago said we need a better quarterback. I said, no, we believe in our kid. We're gonna trade away the pick and go get the pieces to help this quarterback instead of going to go draft another one.
yeah,
Now
that's what I'm saying. You go off the best player. They're going off the best player and off a team needs. What do you
yeah,
mean?
They say it's not just the best player that's available; it's the team needs that also dictate that
Well,
too.
duh, of course I'm saying that. That's obvious. I was just saying that the better players are getting drafted instead of the notion of you don't draft this way. Of course you go by your team needs. No one just drafts the best player. That's not what I was. Come on, common sense. I was saying that the notion of you can't draft this player is not being used anymore. It's more being used of, okay, who do I need and who's the best player I could get for my needs? That, I guess I'll just rephrase what I was trying to say. I was trying to say what I'm saying is who is the best player right now for the needs right now. I'm going to draft him. Yes, I need, because the old notion might have been, okay, I have a pick in the first round and my number one need is running back. Well, we don't do that in the first round, so I'm gonna wait to the next. No, the notion now is I need a running back right now and the best running back is available, so I'm gonna take him. That's what I'm saying. That old notion of waiting for a certain round, it's non-existent when it comes to skill players, at least. The only one I would say it's still existing for is, of course, kickers and long snappers and punters. But that's I don't think that narrative will ever change until these dudes start hitting field goals from their own territory, like the 40 or the 30 of their own line. And I don't think that'll ever happen. Until they start hitting 70 yarders like it's nothing, they not getting drafted till the late rounds, if not free agency, supplementary or complimentary, whatever they call it.
I mean, honestly, I think it's gonna be harder for the see the undrafted or players that's trying to come out and make a name for themselves to be able to make that kind of impact on the game, because like they're making the changes on the kick returns and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like if they continue to make certain changes, it's gonna make it even harder for guys. Like ain't nobody touching Devin Hester little punt return shit, kick
No,
return shit.
no,
Nobody's ever touching
that's
it.
not.
And if they continue to change it, ain't nobody ever gonna be able to touch that shit. You feel me? So it kind of like kills you to be able to be like, damn, those little shining opportunities or momentum changes sometimes we used to look for, you're not gonna be able to really see that. I think really we'll get down to, bro. We might get to a point in the game where like not I don't want to say no time soon, but there may be a point. There's a team that's gonna try out there and say, you know what, we're gonna try and put a receiver at the running back position. I ain't gonna hold you. They're gonna try somebody that
They've
will
done
do
that. They've done
it.
that with Debo. They did
Exactly.
it. You know what I'm saying? They've
Running
done
back.
it with Debo. You got to be good enough to do it though. They're
Yeah,
not going to try it out if you're not good enough for it. That because they've been doing that for a long time. If you're good enough, it's just not a lot of guys are good enough to be running back and wide receiver at the professional level. There's guys that can do it in college. Of course, there's guys that do it in high school. But
mm-hmm.
to be able to do it at a professional level, both positions, is very, very hard to find. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It's not really. It's kind of hard to do. It's easier to put a tight end at a wide receiver position sometimes than it is to put you know, than try to put a running back. I mean, a wide receiver in a running back position,
I
vice
kid.
versa. So
I wish y'all would put Amendola in running back. Wish y'all would. Wish
yeah,
y'all
no,
would.
no, no. That one getting knocked out.
That was not gonna happen back in the day, but now it's like I feel like it's gonna get more offensive oriented, and that we're gonna see a lot more exotic offensive tries. And I think that might be a try that we're gonna see where a team is gonna maybe even get some kind of success off of that. I don't know, but I just feel like the running backs, like for real, like if you really are elite, it damn near is almost like you're an elite player, but in terms of overall impact, we're going to put you at a cap, and it's kind of like constant restraint on your career. So regardless of however you ball, we don't talk about OBJ and the Giants with his first when Eli going out. You know what I'm saying? We said Eli, I mean OBJ, the catch, amazing. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's kind of like a running back's career. Like switch the position. Do you think OBJ is just as famous as he is?
What if he was a running? No, he would never even make it in the. No, I can't. I don't even think that's possible. What type of hypothetical?
I'm talking about like the career track line, and say if that was OBJ was a running back, not talking about on the field, and say talking about OBJ as we all know, say when we say his name, we all know,
What?
oh, boy with the hair, the one that made that amazing play, the one that everyone knows off of Instagram, everyone follow him. He's great. He seems he's a great guy, a great role model. He's gonna give back to the community. That's a lot of great things. And so that's why
That-
I'm not saying that's the reason why he could continue, but it's like he's likable. He doesn't do anything crazy except some things off of social media. But we're going to continue to give him the bag and say, hey, we want you back. Well, a lot of running backs, they're not going to be able to last as long because immediately off that first injury, we don't know if you're going to come back or not. So we're going to go ahead and give you that little tag. Come on back, Tony Pollard. Come on back. Come on back, Nick Chubb. Kareem, y'all messed up with y'all that
Okay.
the elevator. Bring y'all
Yeah.
back on now for the low.
And well, that just goes to show that the difference is because when you're a wide receiver, you're not guaranteed to get hit every play. I mean, you're not guaranteed to touch the ball every play, and you're not guaranteed to get hit every play. As a running back, you are going to get hit every play at some point. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and also when I have a running back, I need you to touch the ball for a certain amount of touches compared to a wide receiver. Your amount of touches are going to be possibly
Very on the game.
they're up for grabs. Yeah, it depends on the game. As with the running back, if I say I'm running the ball this play, I know he's going to get the ball. Compared to if I'm passing the ball, he might not get the ball this play. So it's a little bit more wiggle room with wide receivers that you could take a chance because it's like at the end of the day, you could have a star receiver, but there could be a game where he doesn't get a lot of touches because he just might not be open, or the quarterback can't get the ball to him that game. As with a running back, it's a little bit more like we know he's going to get the ball now. So you kind of can go off of more, all right, this is what we are going to do with you, and this is what you have to offer. So I think it's just different. It's hard to compare. It's comparing apple to oranges when you compare a running back's job and a wide receiver's job and the longevity of their careers because the way they play the game is going to be different. A wide receiver can last longer than a running back because, like I said, they're not going to get hit every single play, and they're not going to get the ball every single play. And if you don't get the ball every single play, you don't get hit every single play. Compared to with a running back, we give you the ball, you will get touched at some point
Or you might
throughout
be
the play. Wide receiver, you can get the ball. You could have 5 catches and not have gotten tackled in all of them, whether it be sideline throws or they were down on the ground or they were straight into the end zone. You could have not got tackled the entire game. As with a running back, those 5 carries, most likely 4 out of them are going to be end with you being tackled. Maybe one of them you might get out of bounds or something. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it's just different. So it's hard to compare that because we know reality of the wide receiver position is going to last longer than a running back.
True, true too. And another skill thing that we don't talk about with running backs is their ability to like to protect the quarterback and stuff too. Because we more think of like the burly fullbacks that used to do it back in the day, but now we got the skill guys like the Saquons or the Josh Jacobs or whomever Derrick Henry sometimes doing for Dan Tannehill, goddamn pass blocking for a nigga, and then try and slip out if it's not there for a screen. You know what I mean? So it's like feel like if you're a running back and they use you enough in the offensive scheme, you should be kind of running back receiver class. Not you don't have to put it in a certain class, but to be able to say, okay, we'll pay you a little, not typical running back money, but pay you a little extra handsome, not handsome like 20 mil. You know what I'm saying? But give a nigga at least 15, 13. We got billionaires trying to cheapen out the millionaires.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that goes that. Well, look at the writer strike, man. Look at It's at the end of the day. This is what happens when you work in entertainment. You're not going to make good money. Some
Yeah.
some people are not going to make the same amount. Not everyone's going to make good money working in the entertainment field, whether it be sports or whether it be television or movies. There's going to be huge disparities within it all, and it's unfortunate. You even look at the government. You have government officials making a lot of money, but then you have people that technically quote unquote work for the government only making 40K. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like there's going to be disparities in every job field. So it's like, what are we really fighting for? Because at the end of the day, if we fighting about running backs, we really need to be more fighting about the teachers not making enough money. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? But we worried about, the writers not getting paid enough. Oh, the running backs not getting paid enough. People not going this crazy about teachers. People will talk about it, but it seems like people are more willing to fight more for the entertainers not getting paid more compared to the people that are teaching our children. So
Shit.
the
Oh, yeah.
disparities is it's a tough conversation, but it's the reality of this capitalistic society.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it is. But, and you look at a couple other countries who'll be like, damn, all you do is pay your taxes and healthcare is free, college is free. Why the hell can't we do that over here? Because everything, like you said, everybody's trying to make a buck. And I ain't trying to give you as maximum that you can get back, nigga. I'm gonna give you as little as I'm supposed to give you back. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of business over here. Being real, or however we look at it, where it's like, damn, it's an opportunity cost. Is this gonna affect what my profits is coming in? If it hurts my profits, I'm not doing business. Not even if it's my family. You know what I'm saying? That's how we look at business a lot. But I think at some point the market will even back out because like especially for even tight ends too, how they're getting told up instead of still being paid as a tight end. At some point, a lot of these tight ends are receivers. So let's just call these skill position players. You can say the position that you have on, like lined up in the field, tight end and wide receiver, but we know what y'all using them for. Stop holding them up. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't like that. I would just like to be able to say that, okay, this is what my use is, and be myself, and know that you understand and know my worth and what I'm doing out here. Like the power forward position. We only, you know who they got listed at power forward, Jamel, now in the NBA? LeBron, Giannis,
Oh
Kevin
wow,
Durant.
Jason Tatum. There was a time Jason Tatum was considered a PF, and they tried to do it with Kevin Durant too. It's like what?
What?
It's become a flex position. I'm like, hey,
Bro,
to each his own. However
we
y'all want to do it.
swear to God, bro, it's
You
all a
know,
play.
and that's okay. Excuse me. The guard, it was kind of like that a little bit already, though. See, I think what's different is we're just not used to it because the guard. I feel like even before our lifetime and our prime, maybe we could talk to an older person in the older generation. They
Mm-hmm.
could say that the that the guard position was kind of already always fluid. You know what I'm saying? Or I want to know when did the guard position possibly come become a fluid position? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure it has been like that for a minute. At least in my lifetime, I've always seen it kind of like, okay, he's a two guard, but he has the ball majority of the time. Like growing up watching D Wade, yeah, I'm about to say growing up watching D Wade and Kobe. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see you don't care who the starting point guard. The starting point guard could be a nobody, but they good. You know what I'm saying?
You got Maurice Williams at the one. We don't care
Yeah,
about
Mario
him.
Chalmers when they had the big three in the Miami. Mario
Yeah.
Chalmers was, I'm not saying he's a nobody, but it's like he's not as impactful because you don't need it because you got a two guard that's really great. It's okay.
Mhm.
We got D
Mhm.
Wade. You know what I'm saying? Derek Fisher with Kobe. He's like, okay, we good. Derek Fisher, I just need you to do my thing. Do your thing.
What they
So
did to Ron Harper in Chicago. Ron Harper used to drop 20 a
yeah, I was
game.
just about to go to Chicago too. I was about to say, yeah, you look at Chicago too.
You know,
So,
it's
you know,
crazy.
it's okay. You know, so I'm looking at this new position of it, just kind of like, okay, that's just what it is now. It's all
That
good.
I mean,
They're
Jamal Murray
taking the load, so
down and shit. I'm like, okay, all right, all
yeah.
right,
The
I like
game
it.
is changing. The game is changing to where you don't need that. Because I bet you there was a time in the game where this shooting guard wasn't even like was supposed to be bigger. You know what I'm saying? He was almost
Yeah,
a forward. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
the
Like
whole other.
more of a shooting forward.
Yeah, I think Paul Pierce was a two guard in Boston for at one point or some shit, bro.
Exactly. So it's like there was parts in the game where it looked at that differently because now we're looking at it like, oh, why are these undersized dudes playing the four? Now there's probably there was a point in time where they were saying why are these undersized dudes playing the two when he's supposed to be a one? You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
that and to be honest, the shooting guard probably became something when the three ball became something because without that you don't need a shooting guard if there's no three ball. You know what
Nah,
I'm saying? So he would have been a wing. That's what they called it back in the day, like the wing. Like I
I,
remember playing high school. I remember playing basketball in middle school. My coach, my bad. My coach was like 60, 70 at the time. He kept calling it a wing. I'm sitting there like, I'm a two guard. He's like, you're a wing. I'm like, all right,
you
whatever.
know,
You know what I'm
you
saying? So it's like to them, that's how they probably thought of basketball, where it comes to a point guard, the wingers, and then the center. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Hell, because man, shit, bro, man, oh my god, I literally just got my fucking point what we were talking about, but you hit on some valid shit talking about the wings and shit. We all have different names and act like it's a whole different game, but really it's like, nigga, you just played it differently. The game has evolved. There was a time where all you thought the point guards to come and set up the entire offense and make everyone else score, and you not really supposed to score unless you absolutely had to. Now the point guard can actually go get points. The center can make assists. So of course the game has changed. You know what I'm saying? Like folks just act like, oh, now the game was better back in the day. Like really, when you look at it in totality and skill wise, the average player today is better than they were back then. Everybody can do everything. Back then,
mm,
you had big, yeah. Charles, I love Charles O. Love Big O. Love Big O. Bruh, y'all tell me Big O gonna play today? All he gonna do is be flagrant foul 10 minutes gone every time. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what is no? We can't foul like that. You can't hit a nigga across the face like that. What is you know what I'm saying? That worked back then because it was a defensive game. But now when you could have skill on top where you could still have to guard that skill, that's still you can't just elbow it in the face for coming in the paint. You know what I'm saying? It's just not gonna work. It's just not gonna sell no more. Back then you could sell it as war. Now we like, bro, we want to see competition. We ain't trying to see nobody fight for real on the court. or fight for real in the field. Because then they got to cancel everything. People get thrown out, and now we got to go up and pick up the pieces and continue the game. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like ain't nobody like
Mhm.
we like that's why referees. We talking about refereeing and that we'll get into that for the pod and stuff. But like why they throw star players out? Because we like yo, we're playing to see these guys. Like so, if you go ahead and give them that quick check, the first like this new thing with the flopping thing is gonna be crazy to see. Jamel, watch what I tell you. They'll call a tech on a player like a Luka Doncic. I'm gonna say, hey, that was a foul, da, 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 whatever, whatever. And then the minute that man go try and go back, do something, and they're gonna deem it as flopping, that's second tech. Oh, does that first tech not count?
Yeah, I don't like it because honestly, doing that just kind of slows the game down because I already
Mhm.
think the game is already slowed down. That's why it's getting tougher to watch too, regular season at least. You're already slowing the
Nah.
game down with all the fouls. And now this will be considered a tech. So now they got to shoot free throws. They got to do this. Then they're going to have to review it every now and then. It's like just slows the game down. Instead, here's what we do. We're going to mark you. And then when the game's over, we're going to fine you. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it's like I feel like that's a better because at the end of the day, if I get kicked out of the fourth quarter, I still get paid for playing most of the game. You know what I'm saying? But if I played a full game, so it's like these dudes are going to do it, and then if they get kicked out, they get kicked out. You know how many times a dude gets rejected? I mean, ejected from the like you could probably look it up. How many times a dude gets ejected? You
Mhm.
good. You know what I'm saying? But if you hit them at the pockets where you just say, "Hey, we're gonna do it after the game. We're gonna hit you. We're gonna give you the punishment after the game."
Yeah,
I feel like
fine.
that would actually change it because until then,
And yeah, bro, because instead of doing this, all of this like that, like now we losing. Not the people that paid to be in those seats, and the people that paid to see the league pass and watching the games, depending on the elevation or whatever. People are in the arenas watching the game, paid to see these. Like I would be remiss if I paid to come see Kawhi Leonard play in Orlando, and he's been playing the last three games, and in the first quarter y'all throw him out. I'll be
for
mad as
flopping,
heck.
yeah, it's like no, I get people don't like flopping, but there's a way to get rid of it. You get
Yeah,
rid of it by just finding them behind closed doors, or you get rid of it by just not calling the foul at all.
that ass. Because like,
You just how about you just don't call the foul?
now
It's like
imagine.
you guys are just so willing to just say again.
I said, imagine actually getting hit and being hurt, and they're saying, "No, he's flopping." What? What? We're reviewing me bleeding out of my nose right now. We doing this? I
Yeah,
hate.
it's too much, man.
I don't like it. I don't like it, man. I don't. But what I think the NFL is going to be a way more interesting. It's going to kind of draw the attention away from all that and beginning of the season in the NBA. So I think it'll be good around like after Christmas time when it come down to seeing it in a little bit of a faster game speed. You know what I'm saying? At
Mhm.
first, it's gonna be real. If they're gonna really do this, it's gonna be real slow and choppy for a while. I'm gonna watch the season opener, but I just already know what they expect getting into it because there's gonna be people to talk about why would they call that or why they if they're gonna call that why you didn't call this. Last year we was calling double dribble. Are we gonna call that this year? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, they got Jordan Poole on that a lot last year. Ooh, I can't. We can talk about that too. That on the pod too. But Draymond, I don't know if you saw what Draymond was talking. Tweeted some. No, no. Jordan Poole dad was saying how Draymond didn't want to talk to him on Twitter. Like when he was playing the whole year, he avoided him and his wife and tip. Draymond responded, and he also went on the Pat Beverly podcast to talk about it too. Kind of
Yeah,
interesting.
I saw you sent it. At the end of the day, it's just weird to me. Like, why are you bringing this up a year later on social media? This ain't our business. Like, why are you making it more public? You really not helping your son heal from the situation when you do that. Also, it's like this. Your son now is out of that situation. Let it be. Let it go. You know what I'm saying? He's not. The son isn't speaking on it. Why should you be speaking on it? Even if Draymond speaks on it, oh well, let it be. At the end of the day, me personally, I would not be fond of my parent doing that because I'd be like, I'm just trying to move on from it. Try to be tired of being the butt end of the joke. I'm ready to restart my career in a new city, a new vibe, on a completely different time zone, away from that drama. Why are you bringing that
Bring
up and talk and calling him out of his name? It's like I'm looking at that. I didn't even. It took me a minute to know that that was his dad. I thought that was his little brother speaking because I'm like, that's very immature. So that's all I gotta say about that. Other than that, I don't really care for it because it's just unnecessary energy put out in the world,
I
honestly.
do. What killed me with what Draymond said on the pod was that we got rid of immaturity to bring in an adult in Chris Paul.
Well,
And I
obviously, because look, if the dad's that immature to do that, obviously Jordan must have been.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, dude, if Jordan must be immature. Jordan Poole must be this immature if his dad is acting like this. So it's like probably, yeah.
Probably it's a real stake in that, man. But yeah, like you said, bro, they should just cut that shit. Like y'all, yeah, that we ain't need to know that. That ain't need to hit
We
social
don't. We
media.
don't need to know that. We really don't need to know that stuff, man. It's not our business.
Not dead
Yeah.
ass.
And when you make it our business, people gonna think it's their business, and now they'll never give you privacy about it. And then guess what he's gonna do in 3 months? He's gonna be like, "Y'all need to stay out this parent business." Like, nah, you brought it on when you kept talking about it, and now when you
Mhm.
give people that little bit of leeway into your personal life, now they expect everything else out of there. That's the tragic truth to it, because that's how people are. You give them an inch, they're gonna take a whole foot.
Damn,
So now, when every time you go somewhere and that's all they want to bring up, don't be mad, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I never knew about his father, never knew what his father looked like, didn't know his father's first name until you made that tweet. So now, if that's what you're gonna be known for, and I'm pretty sure he knew that too. I'm pretty sure he knew. Okay, no, people don't really know me as Jordan Poole's dad until
Mm-hmm.
you made that statement that goes viral, and now this is all we know you for. So
Bro, I've seen enough Golden State Warriors games. I've seen Gary Payton. I've seen Steph Dad. I've seen Aisha. I've seen Clay girls from here and there and shit. Nigga, I ain't never seen Jordan Poole daddy. I don't know who. I ain't seen Tavon Looney daddy, Kuminga daddy. I, I ain't seen the young folk. I ain't seen none of them. No, bro. So like the fact that he had to come out and say all that to, bro. Come on, man. Just no. Just no, bro. Just no. So I hope for Jordan Poole's sake, for him, I hope Washington is a great opportunity for him because I think he can flourish there. I don't know about him being no second coming, no GA or
no, no,
being a
no, no,
new
no, no, no. Who?
him,
GA? What do you mean?
Gilbert Arenas. You know what I'm saying? Being a new Gilbert, because
Oh,
Gilbert Arenas came
what?
from.
I would never would have. You be giving these random dudes acronyms. I'm sorry. I'm not thinking that when I think of Gilbert Arena GA. Who? I'm thinking of Georgia. I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay. No, I'm not. Yeah, I forgot. That's your boy though. That's your boy. Yeah, that's your guy. Yeah.
I like hey, every now and then he be having me off the rocker like, man, this man's on the bean today, but sometimes he be talking about some real basketball stories that they or actually have valid knowledge to drop down on folks and they'll be like, dang, okay. Like I didn't know that about Kobe, or I didn't know you had that story about like him missing the free throws in the playoffs. So I remember laughing about that too when I seen him like, dang, that's crazy. But to see them break down someone said, no. There was a whole bet that I made with the Bron teammate off the court and he owed me $20, and I always just said I want my money. All I said it all season.
See that type of
But
stuff. I can't trust you with nothing now. You
that's
basically putting it all out there now that everybody knowing it. Like, oh man, I can't trust him, man. I can't. He gonna tell
yeah,
it all. He gonna tell everybody what we did last night. Like, hey, after the game, we like, dog. You telling all the stories, especially you telling the stories about a brother. Rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? He can't even sit here and be like, oh no, that ain't happened.
you
He can't even do that. So it's like, come on, dude. Why are you talking about that? He can't even stick up for himself, or not even stick up, but really just even counter it, or just in general. Even if he was here, it's still just like, why you doing that? Like, why you got to
not,
tell everybody our after work endeavors, whether it be something mischievous or not? Why are you still doing all that? Like, everybody
dude.
don't need to know what we doing after work. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I ain't gonna. I mean, him, Shaq, and the boys have kind of mastered the art of knowing what they can put out there, what they shouldn't put out there. Cause there's some story. I done heard some stories from like just off of like listening to some crazy shit just off of like players just talking like different shows, interviews, and shit like that, or other teammates of these players talking. And like I done heard some shit where the nigga Shaq put shit in a bucket and dumped it on a nigga in the shower. I'm like, what the heck?
We don't know that. We don't need to know that, because that's how that Jalen Green start stuff. That Jalen Green stuff start. You know what I'm saying? And they're from an era where they didn't have cameras, so they could tell the story and it'd be a little bit like off when it's like, oh, we don't really know how it went down because there's none on camera. But anywho, but
Not for
yeah,
real.
yeah,
Not,
appreciate that, man. We gonna end this conversation right here. It was just a quick little side conversation of some heavily opinionated special episode. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna try to keep doing some more of these. Whenever we get a chance, we just tap in and just talk about something real quick. If it's just me and Rose in this one. Every now and then you'll see. You never know who's gonna hop in the next one. It's gonna be a quick little 30-minute conversation about something that we might just want to talk about this week. And yeah, just be on the lookout for these, y'all.